It is I, John O'Regan, the uncommon voice for the common man, coming to you today live from an undisclosed location somewhere close to Gotham City for you numbnuts in the National Security Agency, where you may be listening in on us, but we are definitely keeping an eye on you. Now, I have more than a few things to say about the man who's not a Muslim and his big speech about Syria. Now, all this speech is just basically his mightiness trying to get us to see things his way, because apparently 60% of the people believe we shouldn't do anything in Syria. And that is about the long and the short of it. I watched this speech. There wasn't anything new about it. It was just the same old, same old. The only thing I'd say about that speech is this. Can you only imagine that they have this big speech written, and then all of a sudden Vladimir Putin and the Russians come up with this diplomatic solution, and they have to scratch out all the words and then write it in the margins and all that stuff? It's amazing that the man can even read his teleprompter with all the fast-breaking events that are happening at the moment, that this idiot is standing up there telling us why we should go for a military strike in Syria. But as always in these videos, I try and offer you a different perspective, because you can hear basically the same thing everywhere, the same topic just about any place. I mean, you listen to Rush. I mean, I love Rush, but he says basically the same thing that he always says, or the conservatives say and the left-wing wackos say, and I try and offer a different perspective. So this is what I've got to say about the speech and how things in this so-called diplomatic solution are working out. Let me explain something to you right now. I said it in the last video, and I really didn't make this point, so I'm going to make it right here and now. I said in the last video that our president, the man who's not a Muslim, the heat big Indonesian chief, is very, very much in over his head, and I'm going to prove it. Beyond a shadow of a doubt, for any of you liberals, any of you Democrats, let me explain to you why I am right about this and why nobody else has ever said this, ever, anyplace. The split second that he shot off his big left-wing mouth about the red line, he should have sat down with his advisors and figured out what his plan of action would be if Assad did step over the red line. That way, if he ignored Obama's more or less ultimatum, that the action could have been taken right there and then. But I am here to tell you there was no action plan. And even if there was an action plan, they decided that they didn't want to do this for whatever reasons, that they decided not to put the action plan into place. But there should have been one, and as soon as he stepped over that line, that's when the military option should have been used. But because probably they didn't have an action plan, so this guy's left bumbling, rumbling, and stumbling through this foreign policy debacle, because he is absolutely clueless as to what to do. There is no doubt about that. Now, for you liberals watching this video, I'm going to tell you this right now. I have no desire to do anything in Syria. If something was going to be done in Syria, it should have been done the split second that he stepped over that red line and used the chemical weapons. Now, it's too late. For another thing, McCain and all these Republicans are so far off based on this, it's almost laughable, except for the fact that it probably gets some of us killed. Now, here's the deal with them. We really don't know who the opposition is over there. That's the truth. These people, apparently there's foreign fighters helping these Syrian rebels, which means more than likely that they got some Al-Qaeda elements in it. So, for you liberals and McCain and you people that want to back these people, let me explain something to you. The reason that they're probably involved in this, meaning Al-Qaeda, is that they know that Assad's got these chemical weapons. And there's probably a better and even chance if they win that Al-Qaeda or these fanatical Islamic groups will get their hands on these chemical weapons. So here's your choice. You can have Assad with the chemical weapons, using them on his own people, or you can have Al-Qaeda-linked terrorists with the chemical weapons who would use them on us. And that's just about the long and the short of it. And McCain and Lindsey Graham are totally fooled and assholes when it comes to backing these people the rebels, because we really don't know who the good guys are, the bad guys, and just as a on-site analysis, I'm beginning to think there are no good guys in this mess whatsoever. And here is another thing about this speech and this diplomatic thing. The speech, come on, the speech was a speech. It's basically a snow job. That's all this damn thing is, trying to get people to see things his way. And we all know that 60% of the American people don't want anything to do with this. The smart 60% of people, I might add. Now, about this diplomatic thing, because this thing is really what the crux of the matter is, and this is the one thing I'm going to tell you right now. Well, actually, the second thing I'm going to tell you right now that nobody else is going to tell you, no matter where you look. Let me assure you of this right now. Vladimir Putin is playing our president for a chump. That is just all there is to it. Vladimir Putin is embarrassing our president on the international scene, and it is working to perfection. Vladimir Putin knows for a fact what I just told you, that Obama had no plan of action in case Assad stepped over that red line. He knows that. And he also does not like Obama, which is kind of surprising considering that he is a communist, and for all intent and purpose, Obama is a communist. But they don't like each other. There's no doubt about that. And let me explain something to you. Vladimir Putin has a little bit of a payback for Obama. Remember, it was Obama that said that he wasn't going to sit down and talk to Vladimir Putin because he wouldn't give up Eric Snowden. So, Vladimir Putin was embarrassed on the international scene, and he's got an axe to grind with Obama. There's no doubt in my mind about this. And let me show you something else, how Vladimir Putin is playing Obama and us for a bunch of suckers. You remember when Eric Snowden actually went to Moscow and he was sitting in an airport asking for asylum? And Vladimir Putin strides to the microphone and says, I'm not going to grant this guy asylum, meaning Snowden, unless he stops telling the secrets that he knows about the American security apparatus. That's right. Vladimir Putin goes up there and says, I'm not going to give him asylum unless he stops divulging the American secrets. It's absolutely incredible. The KGB telling us that he's not going to give this guy asylum until Snowden stops telling the secrets to him? You can't be serious. This is the KGB. Christ, they got him in a back room pumping him all for this information. But he tells the chump of a president of ours, no asylum unless he stops divulging the secrets. It's incredible. And we, of course, believe it. Well, not we. I didn't believe it at the time. I thought we were being played for chumps right there and then. But the liberals and the Democrats, they like, oh, well, that's still not good enough. We want him back. They were played for chumps. He's always being played for a chump, beating Obama, of course. And Putin jumps in here and says, well, we can solve this thing diplomatically. I'll get Assad to give up his weapons. But what he doesn't say, of course, and this you will hear other places, is that there was no talk of getting rid of Assad. You just don't use the chemical weapons. You can kill as many thousands of your people if you want to with conventional forces. Just don't use chemical weapons. And the statement. So Putin's looking like a big hero here. But he gets to keep what he wants because he knows damn well Obama's not going to use the military option. He's trying to wiggle out of this as sure as I'm sitting here. He wants Congress to vote him down. He wants Congress to vote him down with the use of force because that way he can say, well, Congress told me I'm not supposed to do it, so I'm not going to do it. And off he goes to the golf course again. It's just that simple. So there you go. We all understand that Vladimir Putin is playing our president for a chump on the world stage, and it is working to perfection, probably because our president really is a chump. And that is just a matter of fact. Until next time, this is your favorite conservative, Ronald Reagan, telling this to you right now. As far as this whole thing goes with the damn diplomatic solution and Vladimir Putin playing Obama for a chump and our worthless president who's clueless, has no idea what he's doing, and just throws it up against the wall and hopes it sticks, I got this to say. It appears to me that the former KGB president is bailing out the current KGB president. Until next time, I say this to you now.